Hello, everyone. Hello, voice.
Sounds like you're in a car.
Actually, I am.
Are you really?
So I left the cafe I was in to make it to a quieter place. And then I got caught in traffic. So I'm kind of in between.
Awesome.
In no man's land.
Hey, Sherpa's here. Sherpa likes to do those YouTube videos. Hey, I was just letting you guys know, since it's just, I think there's the four of us here as we get started on the multi-stream. I'm still setting that up. So if you're going to do a YouTube, it's warmly welcomed. That's fantastic to say. So
Absolutely.
we'll be restreaming. We'll be multicasting here soon. So anyway, just keeping everybody abreast of that. So it's still Twitter Spaces for now.
Yeah.
And we have Nick here. Nick is here with us. I love it.
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Oh, crazy busy.
Not very good. I feel like, voice, I talk to you more than I talk to my parents now. All the time.
Oh, goodness. Nick is like, at least it's you talking to him, not me.
I miss talking to you, man. We used to chat all
day long, exactly. Well, maybe not all day long, but quite a bit.
Well, Nick is closer to me than to you now. Time zone wise for now.
That is certainly true, and I change time zones quite often, but I'm not out on your guys' side of the world, that's for sure.
One day we can do a Divi team reunion or union. I think we might be able to make a start. I think whilst the others trickle in.
Rob coming?
Yes, he is. Let me just message him and see. Until he does, shall we do a quick update on Divi 3.0?
Yeah, we most certainly can. I think if you want to just start the intro, and then we'll, for those who cut it and save it and do those kinds of things.
Perfect.
By the way, I want to just say this, that as I stated last week, the way that Elon has changed things, you may or may not like them. I like some of the things that have been changed, but one of the things that's changed is this crappy locking of users from listening to spaces. And that's what we're trying to overcome. You have to have an account to log in, or at least a pseudo account. The other thing that it does is where it used to be, you could actually export a stream to, let's say, a service or a bot that could download it. That has been blocked. As you know, I build Python tools and bots and those kinds of things, and tools are completely getting limited when they're pulling data off of Twitter, unless you're paying a nominal fee, of course, but that fee could be upwards of about $100 a month. So that's not what I'm doing right now. So that's the reason for the other desire to go to a multicast. So it spreads this out a little bit more. But please share. You can use Proton Mail or something. Create a pseudo account. You can log into Twitter. You can listen. The hurdle is up to you. If you want to hear it, we're here now. In the future, you'll probably hear it elsewhere. Anyway, that was my rant for a moment. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you, voice. All right, I'll start with the 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly Divi Spaces. We are having it on a Thursday now instead of our usual Fridays. Hopefully, more of you can join us now because of that. And like Voice mentioned earlier, we're going to be hopefully in the future streaming this on multi-platforms. So it's easier for you all to access wherever you are. So we're working on those things. For those who are new to Divi, the Divi project has been going since 2017. And our mission and our focus has been about making crypto easy and accessible for everyone, everywhere. If you want to find out more about us, head over to diviproject.org, and you can find out more about our technology, how we help people, and how we make crypto easy and accessible. Not only that, there's a lot of blogs, a lot of articles that will really help you with your education, so you can learn about all the things Divi and beyond Divi as well, around Web3, crypto, and blockchain. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Voice to give us a quick update on Divi 3.0, and I'll also let Rob in.
That'd be good. We need Rob here.
Just coming. Just kidding.
It's fantastic. He'll be connecting in a second. He can be able to add anything too, because I know that he's. We're all kind of participating on it, but he's really sort of writing the 3.0 migration. When we say he, that means unfortunately he has to listen to any input that I have, and it drives him crazy.
It does not.
Right now, the migration is going so smooth. I'm not going to give everything that we're talking about in the blog. It's going to be pretty intense, but you guys have to pat yourselves on the back. Those of you who migrated, those of you who updated, those of you who paid attention, those of you who weren't just sitting back expecting things just to happen. It's about opening up, it's about communicating, and it's about updating. And I think as far as blockchains go, when we have a huge migration like this, it's not just a soft fork. This is a dynamic, definite advancement of Divi's blockchain. And I think we're doing wonderful. And you can see that in things that we'll talk about in the blog about difficulty and stability, the issues that go into having master nodes interfering with block finality. Those are geeky words for saying, is my transaction immutable? And they are immutable and have been immutable, but master nodes cause a little bit of friction in those times in the past. That has now been removed completely. And as I've stated before, and if you've been on this chat before, when I state that we lean back into Satoshi's proof of work philosophy, that is exactly what happened. When we remove master nodes, we reform a little bit so that we can become more advanced. And so when the blocks are finalized today, every single validator that's mining the blocks recognizes the most proof of work in that block. And you see that in the things, small things like orphans. And orphans are when two miners compete at the same time. And one of those blocks doesn't get validated by its peers, or the quantity of validations doesn't equal the validations of another peer, another miner. And so if you don't have those most validations of the work you've done, in master nodes, they would debate, and some group of master nodes would say one, and some group of master nodes would say another one, because they weren't caring about proof of work. The validators look at all the work that went involved. And that is seen in a reduction of orphans by about half. It's a pretty amazing thing. The other thing that we see, which you'll read about more in depth in the article, is the difficulty. I think that we're at least a 50% maybe change in difficulty. And what that means is that there's a lot of work, impressive work that's changed going to each block. And that helps us with timing of the blockchain. It helps us with stability and finality of the blockchain. You guys did a great job. So for those of you updated, the only thing I will add, and then I'll stop talking, is the fact that there's still a couple of people. There's at least 3 terribly forked master nodes out there. And there are, as we're watching, there are some nodes that are still running 2.14, or they're running 1.5. They're running some really strange versions. And unfortunately, these people who are doing work, they're not listening to the call, they're not in the chats, they're not in Telegram, and they're not checking their email either. They're forked to all get out, and so they might think they're getting rewards, but unfortunately, they're left behind on some chain that is pretty much dead now. So this is a new, but a continuation of the old blockchain, a new blockchain. So congratulations, pat yourselves on the back.
Those guys are getting fake lottery wins also, which is
yes, they are
sad.
Fake lottery wins.
They get excited and then nothing.
Well, in their own little world of those 3 nodes, they're mining together. So of course they can use those ditties together amongst them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions? And I'll let everybody move on.
Okay. So one thing before I get into light paper stuff. We also, obviously, since the migration is over, we are now working on that like name competition thing. We have a list of I don't even remember how many. I think it was 127 masternode names that we reviewed. We're scoring them now, and then the person, there's a win of like, oh God, I don't remember the number. Was it 40,000 Divi? Something like that. So we're narrowing it down to 10 names. I'll put it in the little download thing so that we can assign the winner for that one. So that is also coming up shortly. I think probably we can do that next week. And then the other thing that's coming out next week.
Don't say that. It's going to be soon.
Yeah, I know.
There's so much to do next week.
And then the other thing we were starting to discuss today is the Lite paper, which I wrote months ago, and things have been in flux a lot, and we haven't released. I think we're going to release that soon. I was going to say next week, but I think next week should be good.
Yeah.
So I think we're shooting for Monday on a release of that Lite paper. I don't think there'll be a lot of surprises in it because we've talked about it before. It does go into some detail about some of the things that were in there. Let me pull it up so I can talk to it a bit. I should have had it up already. My sincere apologies. But let's see. Here it is. So this is more about a growth. I mean, a lot of our missions so far have been about how the Divi blockchain going from 2.0 to 3.0 and then 3.0 to 4 describes growth. Describes how the blockchain is becoming more and more of a platform, less of like a standard coin and more of a platform that has utility, or it can expand and be a platform for utility. And we're slowly getting there. So Divi 3.0 is mostly about getting rid of masternodes so that we can get there. And there's a bunch of articles about that. And then we also introduced a couple of things that we still have not put out technical documents for, but is the Divi on-chain Layer 1 escrow and the Layer 1 subscriptions things. Some comments on that in a second. And we'll have some documentation coming out pretty soon on that. And then talking about sidechains as a way to be a platform for people to build on in a different way than is currently done throughout crypto. And we are confident that it's a better way. So let's go into that, right? So look at the Lite paper coming out, I think we're going to use this as a vision. It's a little bit longer than I was hoping for. Maybe I'll trim it down a bit between now and then. But so at Divi, our unwavering mission is to leverage the exceptional blockchain features of the Divi blockchain, such as our specialized smart contracts, staking vaults, trustless sidechains, to create a dynamic and secure platform that offer a wide array of services, both for individuals and enterprises in the cryptocurrency realm. I may leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. And so what we can see in the feature sets that we have now already, so vaults, so the specialized smart contracts are kind of the basis for a few other current features, which are the vaulting services, which to me is best in class, right? You really get cold staking features, or cold staking security, I should say, while not actually, having to shut down a wallet or anything like that. Like you don't actually have to make it go away. You get all of those features, all the benefits of having a ledger, but actually still being able to use your wallet, for other things. So to me, that is the best way to really handle that, in this space. So other people have vaulting technologies. They call it vaulting. It's generally not this. This is really on-chain vaulting, and it's really spectacular. Anybody who's technical may want to still take a look at it. We've had that out and running for
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Like, yeah, wow. So that falls under one of the implementations of these specialized smart contracts. You can think of specialized smart contracts as... Hi.
I might have a question.
Is rain is
Do you have a question for us?
No, I muted that one.
Thank you. That was weird.
Yeah, let's keep going there.
Do we know that person?
No, I think it's a kid asking the questions. Not that they can listen.
All right, she can raise her hand if she wants to speak.
Yeah. Let's go.
She's unmuted again.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So that's one implementation of what our specialized smart contracts are. The specialized smart contracts are smart contracts that live on chain. They're not customizable like an Ethereum smart contract. They're smart contracts that live in the chain. And the other two are escrow and subscriptions. And subscriptions is kind of a descendant of the base functionality of escrow. So escrow, as you know, in normal situations are, I want to buy something from you. I don't trust you. You don't trust me. We find somebody we both trust. They hold the money. They decide, we all decide when the service is done or the thing has been delivered, and then that person releases the money. So right now, instead of that person, we're letting the blockchain do that. So the blockchain holds the money in a special address. So it's not a normal address. So that address isn't somebody else's address. It's not a multi-sig wallet somewhere or anything like that. It's actually inside the blockchain. And I put money there. You send me the thing. I get the thing. The money gets released. And so the proof of the thing, whatever it is, it could be on some on-chain service. It could be off-chain. It could be whatever you want. A certain amount of time has happened. There's a number of things that can trigger the release of the money, but the money is not being held in somebody else's wallet. So that's basic escrow. So that functionality is live, but the tool sets to make that happen aren't available. So we haven't delivered those yet. Those will be delivered pretty soon. The subscription is a modification of that. So if you can think of a series of escrows, right? You put in a bunch of money to one of these special addresses again, and then you create the conditions by which the money gets released. And so the person who is taking that money can't take all of it because it's in a subscription, and it's not you offering access to your wallet. It's you both agree to put money into the script address. This address releases it as per a number, as per a sort of circumstances. Again, it could be a proof on chain. It could be a number of amount of time that has surpassed. It could be a number of things, and then the money flows into the person's who's providing the service or whoever the subscription is for. It really limits access to money. It makes a subscription happen in the blockchain world. And these are all really unique to Divi right now. I like to point these out because these have been out in our blockchain for months now. And these are the things, the same type of things that they're talking about implementing in Bitcoin right now. So to me, I was actually really proud of our blockchain developer. It's like the things that he saw ahead and developed here are things that they are actually looking to do right now in Bitcoin with the thing we talked about last week, which was the BitVM stuff. So I really like that.
Can I simplify what you just said?
Oh, please do.
Because you gave a lot of information. So when you do a smart contract, somebody codes a contract and you actually abrogate your funds to that contract, right? So you give it over to that contract, and so that's really purely like an escrow. It's either a person or it's a contract in this case. You don't make the contract. You're not the escrow agent. That's a third-party person or contract. In this case, because it's on-chain, it is an agreement that's made by those two people, you and another person, or a subscription, you and another company that's going to provide services. Because it's on chain and there is nobody else holding the funds, and because it doesn't have the weaknesses that smart contracts have in them, some of that being its Turing completeness, which is where things have been leveraged, even in the original DAO hack on Ethereum and many hacks that have happened since then, weird things like in Luna and all of those kinds of things. It can't happen on these contracts, this method on the way it's been made. It is person to person in essence. And it is, if this happens, this happens. It's really almost a black and white process. And so it keeps you, the coin owner, ultimately purely in control of your funds. And you are not ever at risk. It's completely trustless in this state, unlike you trusting a smart contract or the owners of that smart contract's keys or the computer, whatever, wherever the keys are all split up, where you're trusting all of those things, or even how the contract is written, whether it can be changed. This is pure and this is beautiful, and it's super simple. Anyway, I won't say anything more, but it keeps you in charge and you sovereignly in control of your own assets. It is essentially risk-free in that process. From a blockchain perspective, it keeps it just like it would be any other kind of transaction or ownership. It's pure in that respect. So it's very Satoshi in design, I would say. So I don't know if that was easier, but
at least it was different, so that's good. Okay, so all of that I just spoke of is in there right now. That's all of that. The sunsetting of master nodes, moving our chain forward, has really allowed these things to happen, and those are in there now. And again, the tools and the descriptions of how to use it, kind of like the thing I wrote a long time ago about how to launch your own vaults outside. It's technical, but it's outside of the wallet methodology. We'll have those written and tools written shortly so that you guys can try out subscriptions and escrow. So there's that. The next is also the last thing that I want to cover is that in the Lite paper, we kind of also talk about like the basics of the blockchain as it has always stood. So we talk about the lottery, we talk about the reward system. All of that is in there also. So it's a little, at least there's one place to kind of get a nice overview of how the blockchain really works. So there's that too. The last thing I want to talk about, got 8 minutes, but both Manuk and I have hard stops in 30 minutes. So I'm going to keep this one short. It's talking about trustless sidechains. So this is not in Divi 3.0. This Divi 3.0 is necessary to get to Divi 4.0, which will be having these trustless sidechains in it. And the sidechains are really, there's sidechains out there right now. We've had this discussion before. I'll hit it again. So like you can think of Polygon as a sidechain of Ethereum. Like there's a bunch of other sidechains, pulse chains of the sidechain. So in the past, a sidechain has just been another blockchain that you bridge to it from one blockchain to another. So from Ethereum to Polygon, there was a bridge, and the bridge is this multi-sig wallet and some smart contracts on either side. The smart contracts look at things and allow you to move funds into a multi-sig address, and then those funds appear on the other, tokenized on the other blockchain. You can also, if you want to follow the news for the last couple of years, that system is extremely vulnerable. It's vulnerable when people write shoddy code. It's vulnerable when people get the owners of the multi-sig wallet get phished. Something to the tune of $75 billion has been lost just on bridges. And we look at bridges as something really weak. And now they've improved them. There are new methodologies for implementing bridges, and what they do is it's still smart contracts on both sides, but they kind of have this decentralized method of communication from one to another, which is better. So it's a little harder to hack, or maybe a lot harder to hack, but it's still the fundamental issue is that the funds are appearing in multi-sig wallets, even if it's 100 signatures. So the likelihood of getting them go down, but they're not zero. So we're looking at a better system by which to connect one blockchain to a sidechain. And once you have done that, then you can create anything you want on that sidechain. And it's safe to move funds there because there's not this bridge. And so that's what we're looking at. So once you have sidechains attached to Divi, now you can actually have utility that Divi was unable to have before. So you can have, for an example, you can have an Ethereum virtual machine, an EVM sidechain that services only the Divi blockchain, or maybe at the same time services other chains. But for now, like, it just services the Divi blockchain. You can have a marketplace as a sidechain. You can have a liquidity pool if you have a bridge to other blockchains between Divi and another one directly. You don't need to have a fake Divi on another blockchain, have the liquidity pool over there, and then hope to get it back. So there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of creativity that can happen. And the difference between our approach and all those other ones is that we're looking to actually have a far better or far more secure method of moving funds to the service chain that keeps you in control of your funds instead of whoever owns that multi-sig wallet that you're putting it at. That's the big difference. And once we have that, all the utility that we've been promising, all the stuff that we want to be able to do becomes viable on or attached to the Divi blockchain. And that's really the crux of sidechains. The Lite paper will go over some examples, but basically what I just said is how that is going to be working. And really, when we move to Divi 4.0, that's what we're moving to. That's this huge expansion of utility that is coming to the Divi blockchain, and it'll be up to us and everyone else to just say, hey, let's make a sidechain to do the thing. And the thing can be anything. As I said, you could put, it can be an Ethereum, it could be an EVM blockchain, but it could also be a blockchain that just does something small, or just does your personal marketplace, or does digital, or does physical asset tracking, or anything like that, or even just tracks real world assets. Any of those things are possible. All of those things could be done with lower, maybe reduced consensus algorithms that are matching what you're actually doing. If you think so, by that I mean, if you think about a project like Helium, which you could also do on a sidechain if you wanted, their proof of their consensus protocol was about proving you're providing service instead of proof of stake or any of those things. So there's other consensus protocols that you can be implementing on these sidechains. So there's a whole world that opens up once this particular ability gets put in place in Divi 4.0. And that's that. That's really what I want to talk about. That's all of that will be in the Lite paper. Again, it's a light paper, so it kind of discusses it, but there's not technical details. The things that we really owe technical details on are escrow and subscriptions. We'll get to that. That's all I wanted to talk about there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rob. If anybody got any questions, just raise your hands. Boys, have you got anything to add?
No, I'll make it easier. It's making crypto safe again.
100%. Doesn't look like we've got any questions. Looks like we've finished on time today. Yeah, Nick?
Yeah, I'll chime in here. I really appreciate the explanation, both Rob and Voice. It's very technical, and you're very logical. But I gotta hype it up a bit because I want to let people know why this is such a big deal. Okay, because you're looking at right now in the Divi blockchain, you have one thing basically that you can do. Yeah, you can bridge, you can go play in the DEX and do that kind of stuff with the eDivi. But the layer one utility is admittedly low. We all know that. That's okay though, because what Rob just described enhances the utility of the Divi blockchain exponentially. So every new use case that comes online will leverage Divi to get to that side chain, right? You can't spawn a side chain without interacting with the layer one. when we're talking about something like real world assets, when we're talking about something like telecom subsidies, when we're talking about like actual use cases in the physical realm, they're going to want to use a UTXO blockchain because of its inherent security. That's it. Okay. They're going to want to use a private or sort of supplemental blockchain for their specific use case. That's the sidechain. They're going to need, most likely, large amounts of Divi in order to do what they want to do. If we're talking about tokenizing, let's just say a hedge fund, equities, right? Equities and securities. That's potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. How do you do that? There's many implementations already sort of getting built out there. But you can see, even in just commodities, okay, you can find this information on Dune Analytics. About $950 million are sitting in just the top 5 commodities: gold, silver, copper, oil, and one other thing that's slipping my mind. So that's nearly $1 billion in a burgeoning space that has basically just been created, pre-bull market, pre-halving, pre-everything. Okay. This type of technology that Rob has just described, the implementation, of course, being better is one thing, but the accessibility for enterprise is even bigger. So I just think you're understating.
The election. You're not allowed to say that on social media. It violates the terms.
Who's watching Fox?
Bro. Oh my God. Boy, yeah. Mute yourself.
I'm muted.
Yeah. We hear your who are you watching over there?
I'm on Twitter, so of course as I streamed, I accidentally clicked a Bruce Porter thing. You already know what happened.
Also, Nick, sorry I cackled. I thought I had spent 10 minutes hyping up the sidechains, and he came in and did a way better job of it. So I was caught off guard.
No problem, bro. This is what I'm here for. Listen. The point being, the system today, the ecosystem today is not what the ecosystem tomorrow will look like. If you're in this space right now, that's the alpha. You won. You're a winner. Congrats. Swag me. And have a great night.
Absolutely. Let's go.
I absolutely have to bolt, but you guys can continue.
Yeah. No, I think we've covered everything. And if there's any questions, obviously, if you don't speak now, do follow up with us on Twitter, Discord, or any of the channels that we are in. And we'll be happy to follow up with you.
And now everyone knows the kind of political humor I like. All right.
At least you don't see the ones where you get like the fighting videos on Twitter.
I do those too. Anyway, we won't get into that. Twitter is a toilet.
Maybe in the next
we're hanging out in the toilet. It's
in the next off the cuff. Let's go through your timeline.
We'll end this call, but we cannot say anything but Twitter's a toilet. It's just fun.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much for all your input, and let's follow up again next week, and we'll do another off the cuff as well, and then we can talk about all these things.
All right, thanks.
Brilliant. Take care all. Thanks for joining us.